So Shaun, we're talking today in the lead up to the opening of your exhibition, Pacific Undertow. It's the first really major public museum survey exhibition. It's an exhibition that looks back at over 21 years of your practice. It's been held on level 3, our major galleries at the Museum of Contemporary Art Australia. So how does it feel, really, to look back at your work in this concentrated way, and what does it really mean for you to have a survey at this moment, in what is your hometown of Sydney?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thrill to have the show in Sydney because a lot of the work, from the earlier period was all produced in Sydney and about Sydney in a lot of ways. But certainly to have all of the work together in the same space is a thrill, especially when I haven't seen a lot of the work for a while, the earlier work. So I do feel it's kind of like having a barbecue and inviting the extended family, and not really knowing how it's going to go, but it's exciting, very exciting.
As a survey show, it's still reasonably early in the career to have a survey show. We're still, working with new work. You're currently making new work for the show, so there's also this sense, like any other sort of project that a contemporary artist will be working on, of newness and of not quite yet knowing how that's going to work out. How does that feel for you?
It's great that it's not all historical, that I'm not just looking back, that I've got a few challenges with the new work.
So there are 4 new bodies of work or activities that are we're foregrounding in Pacific Undertow. So the first is working with augmented reality. There's new work in VR, and there's a rendering of the space in Minecraft. But interestingly, as those things are taking place, there's this new work that we're sort of surrounded by here at the Australian Print Workshop, which is in printmaking. And what's interesting to me is this is the series of prints that's really informed by your thinking around space and dimensionality by VR.
Yeah. Well, I actually did produce the prints that are around us, and this plate here at the same time as I was working on several VR projects. And so one sort of was connected to the other, just in terms of the timing, but also there was this moment where I'm sort of maybe screen-based, and then I kind of would like to get back into a kind of material process as well, simultaneously, and that's a real joy and a privilege to be able to do. And to kind of get the two mediums to talk to each other was fun. It was a challenge.
What sort of experiences do you sort of hope that audiences come away from your work with?
Yeah, it's a tough thing coming from that Goldsmiths experience where like interpretation is more important than intention. But then I guess I do have hopes, for like beyond people, enjoying the work for whatever reason. Maybe it's this like awareness of the body in relation to like an environment, and maybe the environment sort of is designed with a particular use in mind, or that there's a kind of functionality to that environment. And I guess I've always loved activity that rethinks prescribed function or designed function in environments, and that's just me being inspired by a whole lot of activity, everything from graffiti to street culture in whatever form, whatever kinds of activities that I've seen sort of develop in the last couple of decades. I've been really inspired by that constant questioning of like the function of space. The first works are kind of exploring the relationship of like, say, activity like skateboarding to traditional sort of landscapes, and then in the end the skateboarders have literally entered the museum and are reinterpreting art objects.